When we multiply two fractions, we multiply the numerators straight across and the denominator straight across, and then reduce that resulting fraction. Or, similar to what we saw in the last example, we can look at first reducing our fractions before taking care of those multiplication steps. We can look at reducing a fraction like 10/3. Those two numbers have no factors in common, so that's going to reduce. Neither do 9 and 4. But we can also look at cross-canceling. So if we look at the 10 and the 4, so the numerator of one fraction and the denominator of the second, both of those are divisible by 2. And also if we look at crossing the first denominator with the second numerator, both of these values are divisible by 3. That means that we can rewrite this problem as -5/1 times 3 over 2 by first reducing those values and now multiplying straight across, and actually that should be times -3/2. Now we multiply straight across, meaning the numerator will be -5 times -3 all over the denominator, which is 1 times 2. So we get 15 halves. Again, we could have started off by just multiplying straight across, but then we would have ended up with a larger fraction and we would have had to reduce. In this case, taking care of those cancellations first just helps us do those cancellations with smaller values. We can look at doing that again in part B. Now 8/6 have factors in common. We can divide both of those by 2. And 4 and 2 have a 2 in common as well. So we can divide by 2 in each case. This will end up with as -4/3 times 2/1. And then we can multiply straight across, where our numerator would be -4 times 2. And our denominator is 3 times 1. Giving us -8/3 as a result. In part C, we're multiplying a whole number, an integer by a fraction. So in this case, the first thing that we need to do is take -4, that integer, and rewrite it as a rational number. -4/1 times -6/3. 6 and 3 are both divisible by 2. So we can rewrite this as -4/1 times let me go back. Those aren't both divisible by 2. Those are both divisible by 3, which will leave us with -4/1 times -2/1. And then our numerator will be -4 times -2 all over 1 times 1. And we're left with -4 times -2, which will become +8. In part D, we have 6/3 times -2. So we can again start by rewriting this integer as a rational number, which would be -2/1. 6 and 3, again, are both divisible by 3. So we'll end up with 2/1 times -2/1. Once we multiply together, our numerator will be 2 times -2 all over 1 times 1. So we end up with -4/1, or just -4.